How's it going, Blazers? We're going to bring you specifications you can relate to so you can have an educated decision on your purchases. This is going to be an interesting one, the CRKT Provoke. This is a Joe Caswell design. And there's also the Millet made one that is from Kickstarter. But this is going to be a very interesting setup. Going to have a little bit of information, different information for it, but also did have some modifications to the knife as well. So did modify as far as giving it a little bit more detent, because initially this had about 2 pounds of pull, so we actually deploy the knife, it was about 2 pounds to push. I brought it up to about 4 pounds 6 ounces, so we'll show that a little bit later on. But that's going to be this knife here. So it's going to be a little bit hard to do a specification or a comparison to some other knives, but you do have the other ones as far as like the Code 4, which is going to be quite a bit longer. You have the original Griptilian. We have the classic version of the M16. Rat 2. Perpetua. So they're going to be some of the comparisons there. This one is going to be running on D2. So aluminum and D2, so that's going to be also a difference between this one and the Millet made. The Millet one is going to be titanium and not aluminum, if I'm not mistaken by that. And then also going to be a different blade on it. But this is going to be an interesting one here. So if you ever get one, so I'll show you as far as where the spring is. So as far as where I was able to make that modification. So that's one thing that was interesting. Joe actually reached out to me on Instagram because then he kind of saw it, and then he was thinking that maybe the detent was a little bit lower than necessary, because I did wave the knife in my pocket, and then with that I actually got it stuck twice, so I lost a little bit of the confidence in the knife. So there's probably a lot better way to do this. So I did void my warranty. This is not going back to CRKT. But if you see all these little Mars on the outside of it, because there is a spring in here, so I'll bring this a little bit closer so you can kind of see it. But there's a little, we see it's a L-shaped spring, or J-shaped spring, and that's in here. So you take that out of there. Then all I did is really just bend it outwards, so to get the actual weight that I was looking for. So that took about 4 different tries to get that done how I wanted it. So that's where some of those marring happened with that. And I'm assuming that you can actually do this from the other side, which would have been probably the easier way to do it. But I'm just trying to figure it out. I probably did not do it the best way possible in taking out that spring and making that adjustment. But that's what I did with it. So that's what it is. With a voided warranty Provoke. So this is going to be one that kind of goes, it matches well. I guess it's kind of like any type of cat family. So you're going to have basically a claw that's not protruding. So all the little pictures of that. And then once they're provoked, as far as a fight or anything else, then that's when the claws come out for it. So that is going to be something that's pretty interesting for that setup. And then also this one, it's about 6 ounces. So 6 ounces is what you're going to weigh that on. It doesn't feel as heavy, because then it's kind of an interesting setup where I guess you don't expect it to be like a lightweight carry knife. So it has a little bit different mentality for it. So like if this knife was 6 ounces, then that would be like outrageous. But for this one, it doesn't seem that bad. So 6 ounces is what I got. 6.1 is what it's weighed at. And then for this one, it does have just a deployment for the thumb as far as this goes. And then you can actually deploy it in the other way. Start to get the actual orientation down. But basically you have it in this fashion. So it'd be a frontward flip on that. But interesting, so this is where it comes into play, because I got it because it was an interesting mechanism, and then that was one thing that was, and also a better price point. As far as the original one is about $450. This one has a retail value of $199. and then also I think Mastrop had a quick run of it. Amazon had a quick run, but right now it's still $199 on Amazon when I checked it today. So that's going to be one that is still selling. So probably, I don't know what the run was, what they sold on, but it seems popular. It seems like some people are picking it up, even though it does seem kind of like a novelty for some other folks as well. It is a pretty interesting knife. And then for the blade steel, it is a D2. So D2 blade steel for it, and that's going to be on the corrosion side. It's probably going to be about the 10th percentile, so it is fairly low for that, but they did have the coating for the blade, so that should help out with that. But still, take care of your knives, and most times you won't have any issues with any corrosion. And then for that, also the hardness, at least on the Knife Informer chart, is going to be about the 80th percentile. And then the edge retention side is pretty much right in the middle, and that's compared to a lot of super steels out there. So that's going to be just the interesting way this kind of falls into play. The blade length is about 2.41, which is advertised. 2.5 is what I got. 4.96 on the handle. I got an even 5. And then for the actual sharpness on this one came out right in the middle. So the blade it's not a chiseled grind. It actually is ground on both sides for it. So kind of like a regular standard knife. And then this one is came in at 300. So 300 is right in the middle as far as a Neuheim cutlery. So 300 is right there as far as what that came in at. So not the best for an edge, but that is probably a pretty interesting or difficult edge to sharpen on this knife as far as that angle too, but decent for that. So you can also look at the microscope picture of it, and then you can see where that is. And also throw in as far as behind the edge thickness. I don't have that measurement right now, so I'll throw it in down at the below as far as what that came in behind the edge, and as far as how many sheets of paper also that related to. So as far as a buy, borrow, or avoid for this knife, it's kind of in the middle between a borrow and avoid, because for me, I don't know if I'm going to be carrying this very often. For the modifications I did do to it, I actually have a little bit more confidence carrying it, but it does take up a lot of real estate in pocket. If it is going to be for more of the law enforcement type of folks, it might be better, because as you see on a lot of their videos, it is like attached on the outside of a vest. That's something that's more exposed. But for a regular carry, especially since I carry this in my right pocket and it shares a pocket with my phone and wallet, that takes up a lot of space within that area. So let me know as far as in the comments down below as far as what you think for it, but it still seems like a very interesting design. My mechanism is very much a new setup, but check it out. I mean, if you want to do that, wait till it's back in stock. And also, if you want to, there's probably going to be the other one out as well. So if you do want to get one that's a little bit higher end, there will probably be that Millet one. It is sold out, so I don't know if they're going to have a run of that later on for it. But thanks to Joe Caswell for providing some information, and then check it out and let me know in the comments down below.